Good morning, freelance friends. Welcome to this 30-minute walk in which I am going to speak about corporate, about competitive pricing strategies, and just whatever thoughts are coming up for me right now. So one, guess who got a job, a real job, a corporate job? I did. And honestly, I couldn't be happier because this has been the worst 2 months of my freelance life. I've been chasing down contracts. I have been feeling like there is a carrot hanging above me from these few contracts that were agreed on. These clients told me they wanted to move forward, but keep pushing meetings, keep following up. I don't know. They're just not actually available. And it's low-key driving me nuts. And so in this madness, in this feeling like frustration, I applied to a job and I got it. And it's actually a job I'm quite stoked to have. It's quite aligned with a consulting type mindset. So I'm hopeful that my skill set will be on full display and appreciated. And I am really grateful because there's also a sort of bonus structure for the pay, which I love, because a fixed salary, obviously there's a base salary, which is great, but a fixed salary with no bonus potential really grinds my gears, especially in a corporation where you know that your work directly affects their profit or their sales. So I'm really happy that that's there. Hopefully, of course, the goals are attainable, TBD. But so far, I'm quite excited. I really need the financial stability and it's giving me a bit of mental and physical ease, because these last 2 months have been quite disastrous for my nervous system, and it has made me realize how much I need some sense of structure in order to feel good, so that's that. TBD on how it goes. There's, of course, a 10 to 15% fear in me that is you know how this goes. There's likely going to be a point where you want to burn this job down, but I'll deal with it when I get there. Now, what I want to talk about today in terms of freelance is actually pricing strategies. So I have seen and heard and talked to many freelancers who really struggle with pricing strategies, or pricing period, or knowing their value and fearing either pricing too low, pricing too high, etc. And it hit me the other day that I should speak a little bit about my experience when I had my hair salon and how I approached pricing, because it's quite useful. It's a useful framework for any sort of service provider, and it is based on this. I used to tell this to my junior hairstylists, and it is, if you cannot impress somebody at $20 an hour, you will likely not impress them at $40 an hour, or $60 or $80. So when you're starting out, your skill set is usually low. You have not fully proven yourself in the market, in the tangible market where people are paying. Your friends might think you're great. Your family might think you're great. Your boss might even think you're great. Your past clients might think you're great. But in the grand scheme of the world, you have not developed and or you have not been able to market your value yet. And so the idea that this sentiment projects is that you've got to get comfortable and or used to proving and showing your value at a lower rate if you want to eventually charge more. And there's a few reasons for this. Reason one, when you're starting out, you're often insecure. And that usually shows. It shows in how you do your consultations. It shows in how you service people. It shows in even your final product. And so when you're charging less, people can be more forgiving. Not always. There's obviously always outliers. But when you're charging less and you're upfront about your skill level, people know that there's a risk involved in hiring you. And so you mitigate the risk or you offset the risk by charging less. And so if they're not happy or they see that it's not up to some perfect standard, they can go, oh, well, they did tell me that they're a junior or that they are starting out or et cetera, et cetera. And so the purpose of charging less is to also sorry about that. The purpose of charging less is also for you to not feel as bad. So if you're charging $60 an hour, but you're new at something, you might end up like, sort of like doing things, unnecessary things to offset. So example, if you are feeling insecure, you might end up doing more hours than necessary or overdoing something, etc., to make up for the fact that you know you're not worth $60 an hour. So by charging less, it's supposed to or should offset some of these uncomfortable situations. Now, the other thing is, especially if you're trying to make a living, if you're trying to build a clientele, if you're trying to build a business, a career, a brand, you are going to learn so much more and you are going to increase your skill set so much more by being, let's say, 70% booked at $20 an hour than you are going to learn by being 20% booked at $60 an hour. Okay, you are going to build a lot more with that momentum. That momentum is going to serve you, it's going to serve your clients, and you are going to build a portfolio at the same time. You're going to refine your skills. You're going to refine what type of work you like to do, what you don't, etc. You're going to get to know yourself a lot better. And the goal is, of course, to increase your pricing. And in this example, I'm using $20 an hour, but your base can be 30 or 40, whatever. The point is, whatever the lowest you're willing to do. And yeah, the goal is to increase the pricing, of course. But here's what I would do with the junior stylist is that once you had 3 months of consistently meeting whatever goal it is we set, which was usually for a junior, probably like 80% booked and certain sales targets met. And if it was consistent 3 months in a row, then we would allow you to raise your prices because you've proven, one, consistent demand. So people are asking for you. People are coming back. People are leaving good reviews. People are happy. And so then you can raise your prices. And you don't have to wait a year. You don't have to wait to blame inflation. What you have to do is wait until your worth is proven in the market. And now you might be thinking, what is the lowest that I can charge? What is the lowest that makes sense? Now, I would say, obviously, like, it depends what you do and what your options are, but your lowest hourly rate can be whatever you were making at your last job or what you're making at a part-time job right now. Because you have to ask yourself, would you rather go be a barista for, I don't know, minimum wage plus tips, which maybe averages $20 an hour, or would you rather do what you love to do for $20 an hour, you know? So that might be your minimum. And, or you could look at industry average. So let's say industry average is 60. Most freelance jobs, I would say the minimum is around 50 to 60 an hour. You can look at that and you can offer either that rate, however, you're not pricing very competitively. Or you could say, when you approach people, that, oh, my rate is 60 an hour, but I'm offering first-time clients 50% off or 40% off for the first month. So don't be shy to do promos, to have a sort of fixed window in which you're willing to work at a lower rate. You can also do that over longer term. So reaching out to people you'd like to work with and sort of saying that, like, you know, I just finished some contracts. I have space for 3 new clients. Therefore, I'm offering X deal for the next 2 months. Let me know if you need X, Y, Z. So that is a good way of sort of, laying it out so that people know you're not, wow, I just found a very cool sweater on the street. Anyways, so yeah, that is an employable strategy. And another reason I wanted to talk about it is you're completely free. So there's a lot of fear that if you charge something, you're going to be stuck at that amount. So if I charge $20 or $30 now, there's no way they're going to want to pay more. And I understand that fear, but it has proven to be wrong. It has proven to be not completely accurate in the market. So if they do not want to pay more, there's 2 options. Either you haven't proven your value, or you're no longer in their budget, which is completely possible. But if you're a service provider in the sort of like business sphere, your job is essentially helping people make more money. So your value should be proven, and or you should be helping them gain more reach, you know? So anyways, that's sort of how you have to think about it. And you can, and this is also the purpose of contracts with timelines. So you might say, hey, this is the pricing structure I'm going to do for 3 months. And like afterwards, we're going to my usual rate. So they already have a heads up. And this isn't just me who says this. There are multiple YouTubers that I've watched who do different sort of services, and they have said that they too will actually like increase their pricing like between each client even. So just testing, you know, a little higher, a little this, a little that. And that is also possible. So when I say you can start at 30 or 20 an hour, that doesn't mean that you're advertising that price all over your socials or your website. You can say packages starting from 800 or from 500 or whatever. And people don't need to know what the hourly breakdown is, you know. Or you can lead with that and say, you know, promo currently starting at this amount, whatever. So that is that. And I would say that example, when I was doing hairstyling, I had junior hairstylists that were able to, you know, level up within a year, increase prices sometimes twice a year. And this is also based on other strategies. So this is the initial pricing strategy. But there's also other things going on behind the scenes. Example, they are asking for referrals. So when you're building your clientele, they would tell clients like, hey, I love doing your hair. If you have friends looking for a hairstylist, here's a coupon. Here is a coupon for either 20% off for a friend or free treatment for a friend or something like that. And so you would sort of get exponential client growth because you are using both your actual clients as marketing and online marketing. So yeah, take from that what you will. Another thing that I'm thinking a lot about at the moment is, it's the type of clients that you're asking for leads or the type of leads that you're seeking out. So very often, if you're starting out, you're insecure and you're going to look for leads or look for potential clients in a way where you know that these people need you, in a way that maybe you're like, okay, this person's on the same level as me, but I feel like I can help them, or maybe they're a bit below. Let me tell more of a story and speak in the first person for this example. So the issue that I'm having currently with certain clients of mine is because their businesses, I noticed that their business was not either marketing to its fullest potential, or they were confused, or I knew that they needed an extra hand. And that's great. This is usually a good place to go for a lead. However, I would potentially revise the strategy, and or I would consider that this strategy has holes in it because I think that what I'm noticing for my own pattern is that the clients I'm chasing for money right now, and or to finish a contract, continue a contract, etc., are people who need me. And this is a negative, I would say, pattern I have in my life, where it starts exciting because I feel useful and good, but then there comes a time where the weight is too heavy because they quite literally need me, and are insufficient on their own, or not able to make decisions on their own. And it ends up biting me in the butt because I have to quite literally string the client along. So I would say to be careful not to fall into that sort of pattern, because one, it doesn't feel fun, and two, it has put me in a rough place the last 2 months. And I was seeking other clients, but probably not as much as I should have, because I thought these clients were going to pull through, but they have been lagging and slow. And so this ties into pricing, because I think it's really important to know the minimum amount you need to be paid to survive and make sure that that's baked into your pricing. But I also think it's important to sort of have, what could I say, make it possible that with either only 2 clients you can survive, or 3. But if that's the case, then you kind of always have to have 1 or 2 extras in case one doesn't pull through. So this is sort of the issue with the freelance world. So trying to find some consistency there in the pricing. So yeah, and carrying that over to the freelance world, don't be shy to ask your clients if they know any other small business owners who might need your services, because most likely they do. So yeah, that's sort of my spiel today. On a personal note, woke up feeling quite frustrated. I have this job starting in a couple weeks, and I told my lagging contracts that I needed to book them in the next 2 weeks because I need to do a big push before I start. And I have received no response from one, a weird response from another, and and just some rescheduling and weird shit from other clients. So it's no one's fault but my own, really. These are who my clients are. And yeah, I'm just looking forward to some stability, some like regular scheduling, and a base salary. I really am looking forward to a base salary. And strangely, I am also looking forward to going into an office 4 days a week, which is not something I thought I would have said, but I am getting a little stir crazy at home. I do love being able to work from cafes and whatever, which I'll be able to do on Fridays now, but I'm missing social interaction. I'm missing movement. I'm somebody who needs stimulation, and I feel that the amount that I'm working from home without my clients because they're lagging is sort of getting me in this cabin fever vibe. And like to the point that this morning I was like, oh my God, like another day of this. And then I look at my schedule and I was like, oh yeah, I'm going to one of my clients today. So and then it like completely shifted my mood. I was like, yay, I'm gonna like make my lunch and get going. So I'm feeling quite the back to school energy, I would say. That's kind of what it is. I'm like, you know what? I'm so down for the back to school vibes. It's going to be back to work vibes for me. So yeah, anyways, enough about me. I hope you've retained some things from this pricing strategy chat. And of course, if you need to talk further about your own personal pricing strategy, I love to chat during a coaching, consulting, strategy call, whatever you want to call it. That's it for today. Happy Tuesday.